Hello everyone, I am Dan Stapleton, and with me today are the brains behind XCOM 2. We've got the creative director, Jake Solomon.
Hi, happy to be here.
And the lead producer, Garth DeAngelis.
Hello.
And you guys are here to show off this really attractive looking new trailer you've put out, and tell us all about it.
Yes, very excited. This is it. This is the announce. You know, this is our first way of engaging with everybody, so we're very excited.
All right, so right off the bat here, we've got this big mega city.
Yes, these are the shiny cities built by the aliens to entice people to move in, and they promise you a life of ease and security if you just move into these somewhat ominous-looking cities they've built.
Yeah, this is the aliens' version of beauty, right? What they think humans would like to flock towards. It's an interesting.
Kind of looks like Miami.
Yeah,
It's all right. I've seen better.
I'd move there.
They did a good job.
Yeah. The mega cities, is that at all a reference to XCOM Apocalypse?
No, actually, I guess it's, I mean, yes, absolutely it is.
A vague homage. All right, but you're saying you are going to keep real-world locations. So.
Yeah, we try to keep it grounded. Even though XCOM takes place in the future, we want to keep it grounded so people have some sort of connection to these locations. And the idea is that the aliens, they built these cities over the bones of our old cities. They don't care for our history very much, I suppose.
I thought you were going to say they built it on rock and roll, but
Well,
so we get a nice establishing shot. And this they're talking about gene therapy here, right?
right. That's a wonderful new offering from the alien overlords. And again, you can live a life disease-free, and all you have to do is walk in and lay down on a bed in this pretty ominous-looking gene therapy clinic. So who wouldn't want that?
All your problems are resolved.
And totally unrelated to the mysterious disappearances, right?
Yes.
Completely unrelated.
And here she's talking about new arrivals to the city and the Advent administration. The new arrivals are people who have come from the outskirts to get this cushy new life. And
Yeah, there's this big push to bring people into these cities, and so they're making a concerted effort to sort of bring these people into the cities. And they talk about the Advent, and that's sort of the new world order of Earth. You know, the Advent, they're the government and sort of the security force that runs Earth now.
I will see them in just a little bit. And here we have XCOM making their appearance, creeping in there.
Right, they're just sneaking in.
And the civilians don't seem to notice them yet. Is that going to play into gameplay at all? Do civilians welcome you as liberators, or not so much?
Well, it's always hard to welcome people carrying big guns and dressed in armor like that. So, I mean, the civilians definitely play into gameplay, and that's sort of showing off. This is like gameplay. You would start in concealment with your squad, and so you have to be conscious of a lot of different elements that could break concealment. So not just the enemies, but civilians as well.
All right. Let's get a close-up of these guys. Oh, well, not quite yet. Oh, there they go. Sneaking around.
Yeah, still sneaking.
Okay, so here you've got that creepy-looking statue that we saw from afar, with the new-looking sectoid. That's a really big sectoid, like Big Daddy sectoid.
He did get large.
Yeah, everybody's evolved. Over 20 years, everybody changes. So XCOM and the aliens have changed quite a bit. But yeah, that's a nice. I mean, the idea behind that statue there is you can't be quite sure whether the sectoid is picking the human up or leaving them behind.
The one thing we've been sure about is that he has been working out.
He looks good. He looks good.
So there's something I noticed in the first view of this trailer is that's an ethereal in the background on that screen.
Is that, Jake?
Is it?
I don't know how that got in there. I have to talk with Greg, our director.
I've counted the arms twice, and that's definitely an ethereal.
That is definitely not human, whatever that is.
All right, so there you've got, we're seeing a few of these scanners here. Is that going to play into how you move around the city and remain undetected?
Yeah, it's like the civilians. There's sort of certain things you have to keep an eye out when you're in concealment, and you certainly wouldn't want to move into the range of one of those scanners when you're concealed.
It looks like he's doing what I did going through the airport today.
Yeah, it's it's actually not bad. It's open air, so that's actually not bad.
Does he have to take off his shoes and belt?
Yeah, I'm not sure what the Advent laws are.
Yeah. And here we have a couple of Advent soldiers there who are scanning him.
Right.
And, oh, hello. That's a much less statue version of a sectoid, right?
That is right. You see the glow there, the customary glow. They've changed quite a bit, but they kept the inner glow that marks the sectoid there. But you can see that that sectoid and the Advent are comfortable with each other.
And that's a cool moment for the player too. There's a theme throughout that the aliens are consistently sort of behind a veil. And the Advent as the frontline troopers, that's what the player is going to face. Certainly more up front, and then there are these more mysterious aliens right behind the scenes that the player will get a taste of thereafter.
Are these guys going to bro fist?
Well, they are communicating. I don't think he's gonna pound them, but.
All right, so here we finally get a close up of our XCOM soldiers, which their little robot friend.
Yes, the little robot friend, the Gremlin, as we call it. That's actually a special tool of a class called the Specialist.
All right, let's get the lineup shot here. There we go. So on the far left here, you've got the heavy weapons equivalent. What do you call him?
Grenadier. That is the Grenadier.
All right.
Yeah, he sprays bullets and blows things up.
Yeah, well, it looks like that's a pretty big grenade launcher he's packing, true to his name.
Yes.
And then this guy, the next guy in the lineup who's he?
That's our Ranger. Yes, that's our Ranger, and you can see poking over the shoulder there the Ranger's marquee weapon, and that's the sword.
All right, but he's also got an assault rifle. Or
Yeah, range. Yeah, they all have ranged capabilities as well.
Okay, and next.
Next, that's the Specialist. That's the soldier controlling the drone that's floating over her shoulder there.
And finally, you got the sniper equivalent over here.
Right, and that is our sharpshooter. So yeah, it's a replacement of the sniper.
And these weapons they have, they're all fairly low tech at this point.
It is a mix.
It's a mix.
It looks like the sharpshooter is holding one of our upgraded weapon types.
Yeah, the sharpshooter has the upgraded weapon types, and what you can see there actually is you can see that they've also got a bunch of upgrades to their weapons as well. So you can see those nice little. Some of them are duct taped on, but yeah, they've got some scavenged upgrades to their weapons as well.
So once they kill Advent soldiers, they can go over and loot the bodies and take these upgrades from them, and then take them back to base and strap them to their weapons.
That's right.
Yeah. And I imagine there are going to be a variety of those, right?
Yeah, there are a variety of those.
So yeah, tell me about the Gremlin.
Gremlin's awesome. The Gremlin is so we're introducing. It's almost like a pet class to XCOM. And the Gremlin can act as a scout. The Gremlin can heal. It can buff your units. You can assign your Gremlin to the Ranger if the Ranger wants to get up close and personal and make the Ranger stronger and tougher to hit. And they also have some other cool abilities that I think you're going to get a taste of in a moment.
Yeah, and the look and feel of these guys, they're pretty diverse armor set. I guess you're going to have a whole bunch of different types of armor to make them look more ragtag.
Yeah, this is actually all conventional armor, and it's very, very cool in XCOM 2 because they are more guerrilla. They're scraping resources and supplies together. They look very different. There's not a uniform or a baseline uniform like the soldiers had in Enemy Unknown. So you really get this high character variety with your soldiers, which plays into those stories that you make with your squads in your head.
All right. Let's see what happens. So right now they're setting up their ambush, right?
That's right. Yeah, and that's a typical gameplay moment. Is you're in concealment, and then you initiate combat by trying to get the jump on the enemies.
This is so cool for me to see because this is one of my favorite things to actually do in gameplay.
Yeah,
right now.
It's pretty cool.
So, like one of the things people had issues with in Enemy Unknown was that they would sneak up on aliens or thought they would sneak up on them, but then the aliens would spot them and scamper and all get to cover before you could get a shot off. But this, I guess, you're giving people a free shot. That free shot they all wanted.
That's right. We're definitely giving that to them, and not only that, then sometimes by when you get the jump on them by doing this, some of them will actually even be surprised and they won't even scamper. So even after you get that first free shot, they could be surprised and they won't scamper. So we heard the scampering stuff loud and clear. There are actually a lot of ways around scampers. So
It does look like the Advent guy. It looks like a human. He's not at least fully alien, huh?
Does look like a human.
It does. That mouth looks pretty human to me.
Yep.
Yeah, it could be Bruce Wayne based on the amount of face shown there. Can't rule it out. All right, but hopefully it wasn't because he just got this. And the weapons they're firing with are not. Oh, well, but the Advent weapons are not. They're not laser weapons, but they're magnetic weapons.
Yeah, those are magnetic weapons. The Advent's all use an entirely different weapon class.
All right, so it's like the Gauss rifles from Terror from the Deep, right?
It is.
But here we have a really new thing, which actually a new thing and an old thing.
A new thing and an old thing.
One of the few major aliens that did not carry over from the original XCOM to XCOM UFO defense, or from XCOM UFO defense to Enemy Unknown, was the Snake Man. But you've got a Snake Lady.
That's right. She's the Viper, and she's one of our favorites. The Snake Men were in the very original XCOM, and then in Enemy Unknown we had the Thin Men, which is sort of our version of a snake unit. But we figure now aliens, the Earth is their planet, and so they don't have to hide anymore. And so this is the Viper. She's the true form of the Thin Man, and she has a lot of really, really awesome and very dangerous moves.
All right, we'll see a couple of those in a moment, I think. And she's also got plasma weapons. So
yeah, she's ranged, she's melee, she's whatever she wants to be.
So here we kind of see some implied destruction, but it's not actually getting blown apart when these weapons impact. But yeah, I guess you're saying that in the actual game there might be some more destruction we would see in a situation like this.
Yeah, these weapons will wreck the environments. We've even gone so far now that even floors and ceilings are destructible in XCOM 2. So yeah, you can really wreck the environments.
Nice. So here's that gremlin ability you were talking about. And that. So that would be basically a debuff for the enemy and stun him for a turn or something like that.
That's right. That's actually an area of effect stun that keeps them locked down for a turn, and I believe also does some minimal damage.
Great. And here comes the Limbus Viper. And I guess that's a ensnare ability she has that's somewhat similar to the Seekers in Enemy Within.
Yeah, that's her bind, but the dangerous thing about the Viper is that she doesn't need to find you. She can actually lash out with her tongue and pull you to her.
Ah.
So she can actually pull you out of cover to her and then bind you up.
So she's got that scorpion ability, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. She
over here.
It's not reflected in this movie. The bind part is awesome, but it is absolutely terrifying when you are in cover and you think you're safe, and then all of a sudden you're just snatched out in the open. And she can combo it together and instantly do this bind and constrict right after pulling you out. So she's a pretty terrifying alien.
Yeah. And so you were saying that these aliens are stronger than the ones we've generally faced in Enemy Unknown. You wouldn't want to go up against a Viper with just one soldier, right?
No, she would. That would be the end of that one soldier, especially because of her moves. First of all, she could bind you up, and then you wouldn't be able to stop her. But she also, the aliens have evolved. This is 20 years in the future. The aliens have become much stronger, and so yeah, you really can't go toe to toe soldier to alien in the game.
At least not at first.
Not at first.
That's the role of the Advent Phil, right?
That's right.
They're the fodder. So then you got some blowing stuff up.
Speaking of fodder.
Yeah. But yeah, here's Mr. Sectoid, and he is showing off a brand new set of pearly whites.
That's right. The first thing he did when he took over the planet was get himself some terrifying teeth.
This is actually worth calling out because the art team has done a fantastic job. These are game assets. I believe this is our art director, Greg Furch, is one of his favorite shots. And what the player is going to see in game, these models are reflective of that.
Oh yeah,
Really?
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow, that looks really nice.
Yep.
He's very shiny.
He is. He's probably very slick.
So yeah, here's some of that melee combat you're talking about. And yeah, from this angle, he looks kind of like the naked aliens from Futurama. But,
Yes, we took no inspiration from that. I'm pretty sure.
but and in this case, you've got a XCOM soldier going toe to toe with a sectoid. But you're saying that's some movie magic.
Yeah, I mean, eventually you could.
Yeah.
And in fact, the Ranger's great. I mean, the Ranger can deal a ton of damage with their sword, but of course, that's a really risky move a lot of times. And so you've got to choose when to use the sword appropriately.
And but a sectoid, like if you first come across a sectoid early on, he's probably going to wreck you.
Oh yeah, yeah. And he has a lot of ways of wrecking you too. So we've actually brought mind control up to the very first alien in the game. So the sectoid can mind control you early. So again, they have ways to, if you're not using teamwork, these aliens can a single soldier they would wreck.
So basically, it's the scenario we saw in the tutorial mission of Enemy Unknown.
That's right. That's right.
It'll mess you up real good. All right, but in this case, XCOM comes out on top, except for that guy who I guess got messed up by the Viper, right?
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, that was the Viper
Yep.
one, and that's showing the carrying, which is really cool. So you can carry your squad mates, and you have to carry your squad mates sometimes. So if they're unconscious, if they're hurt badly, then you can throw them on your shoulder. One of your soldiers can throw a squad mate over their shoulder and carry them out.
But even with a dead body, you can conceivably carry him out?
Yep.
And
Yep.
and there would be a benefit to that, like you might recover their armor or weapons or something like that?
Yeah, definitely. If there's a mission where you have to evac at the end, you're not going to want to leave these soldiers in their gear behind.
Yeah, this sequence looks really awesome, but again, sort of like the concealment up front, this is reflective of sometimes the climax of missions where you won't be able to complete all objectives, and you have to make that interesting decision of, I want to get the hell out of Dodge. I want to save this soldier. I don't want to lose his or her stats and their gear as well. So let's pick them up and let's get out, and then you can place your evac zone and take the Sky Ranger out.
Cut your losses before you lose everything.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So, speaking of taking the Sky Ranger out, they've called for evac, and they're being pulled out. And you're saying you can call a Sky Ranger in anywhere on the map now.
Most mission types, yep.
And that you still have an evac zone you have to get to, but you get to say where that is.
Yeah, as long as it's within a space that the Sky Ranger can certainly hover. So there are some constraints based on the map geometry, but yep,
Yeah,
you have
but
a lot of flexibility.
you tell it where to go. Yeah.
But there is still a danger of getting stopped trying to get out.
Oh yeah. I've already had plenty of moments with my that sort of no one left behind moment where I'm rushing to the evac zone and I'm getting beam weapons shot at me as I'm trying to escape. It's really cool.
Right. And then this is, you were talking about, let's get a better shot there. You were talking about having places around the city which are still kind of rural and people are scraping by.
Yeah, the player gets to play in a wide variety of environments, and some of them are out in the wilderness where people who are a little probably wisely don't want to move into the cities, and XCOM often operates on the edges.
Right. So they're flying back to base now.
That's right.
That Sky Ranger is new and improved as well.
Yes, it is light and fast.
They're docking with the base, but then the big reveal: the base flies. So if Nick Fury gets one, why can't you have one?
That's
right.
We saw it and we said, hey, how about another one?
Although we got to say you're calling this the Avenger, which is
Yes.
not a reference to the
That's
Avengers.
right.
No.
This is a reference to 1994's XCOM UFO Defense,
Yes.
which has a ship called the Avenger.
Called the Avenger, and it
So-
fit. The idea being that it's time for XCOM to avenge, and so it just fit perfectly. But yes, this is a big element of the game as well, is that the player's on the run, and they have a base now that is mobile.
So basically, Disney owes you money, is what it comes down to.
Well, I didn't say that, but yes.
If there were any justice in the world.
Right.
All right. So they're flying away, off to just stay one step ahead of the aliens, make sure they don't get obliterated from orbit, I guess.
That's right. That's the savior moment, and you had sort of the wayfarers watching on as you go to spark the resistance around the world.
Yeah. And you have a cool logo.
Yeah.
There it is.
So why didn't you have a subtitle on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think the idea was that we've had so many subtitles. XCOM games have had so many subtitles, and we felt like it was time to sort of clarify and just say, like, okay, this is the next step for the franchise, for the XCOM franchise. So it just made sense to put a 2. And I don't think we didn't have a good subtitle name. Basically, we just ran out of ideas. We were like, what about 2? And we we're like, okay, sure, 2.
Where has the enemy not been yet?
Right.
Enemy all up in your business. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much, and I can't wait to see more of. Have you guys illustrated more about what's coming on XCOM 2? Because I played the hell out of the first one, and this one looks like it will suck me right back in. So thank you again for your time, and for more on XCOM 2, stick with IGN.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.